Welcome back, we're continuing our quest to cover all of the stuff from the preview last Friday. Good grief, this has taken a while, isn't it? Look, there was a lot of stuff. There was a lot of stuff to be shown off, including this. The GITMOB, who are preparing to race across the mortal realms. Gobbos on wolves. That's basically the cliff notes. That's what you need to know. Essentially, Gobbos on wolves, which is good. Like, that's a good concept. I'm all okay with it. I'm good with Gobbos on wolves. Now, something to be noted about the Gobbos on wolves is their leader. See, there's going to be an army set, of course. There's always an army set now. Every single thing that you see, there's always an army set, so we know that. That's fine. Not a massive one this time, but then it is mostly just big models. A lot of cavalry, funnily enough, because it's Gobbos on wolves, but then what would you expect? Anyway, the important thing to note about the Gobbos on wolves is that they're led by a particular Gobbo on a particular wolf. See, this is Drogs the Sun Chomper, and he's the Grand Snarl Boss, the leader of the Sun Chompers, who are the largest GITMOB to descend from height. The largest GITMOB, I don't know why it makes me laugh every time, but it does. Now, important to note here is that legend has it that hundreds of years ago, Drogs crafted his banner from sun metal looted from Sinari battle mages, but surely no Grot could have lived for so long. And the truth is he hasn't. Each leader is chosen by Jagged Snarl, the wolf. So the wolf picks the leader of the GITMOB, which I love. We joked before, like we said, that when it came to the new Lord Solar, whatever his face is, that actually the bloke was just a decoy and the horse was making all the decisions. That is just true for this army. That is just how it works. That wolf decides who gets to take up the mantle of leader. The wolf is actually the brains behind the operation. You cannot convince me otherwise. Fantastic. Love it. Brilliant. It helps that Jagged Snarl and Drogs look absolutely fantastic together. Now that is a really, really fun, cool miniature. I'll even let them off with the tactical rock because the wolf looks absolutely fantastic. The scar across the eye, the kind of like gnarled face and really grim looking teeth. The armor looks great. The pose is extremely powerful. I mean, to be honest, the grot on top is fine, is whatever. I just mostly like the wolf, to be honest. I mostly am like, that is a good looking wolf. Don't worry, I'm not going full space wolf, I just think it's cool. There are lots of nice little fun details all over though. Like, I think the overall silhouette is fantastic. That big banner looks great. The way the metal has been beaten and turned into this symbol, but it looks really rough and shoddy. The twin pennants on either side look so good. There's this kind of fun mix of both threatening and serious, and kind of goofy at the same time, which I'm actually really liking on this one. Jagged Snarl just looks like an apex predator, but then the grot on his back, Drogs, he's on the chunky side. He's on the chunky side, he's got his knees out, and he just looks like the hat is great, but the kind of wolf tail top knot, which surely is a bit awkward when he's sitting on a big wolf, I don't know, there's like a cartoony element, but only from the saddle up. But it's not applicable to everything on the saddle, because there's other details going on there that are more serious. It's a mix of styles that shouldn't work, but kind of does. I think a lot of it is because it's Grots, and you can kind of get away with anything with Grots. You take a funny enough Gobbo and put him in a serious situation, and he still just fits right in. And I'm not really sure why that is, but I think it really applies here. I do really like the armour on Jagged Snarl as well. That looks good. I do like that from alternate angles you can really see just how big that animal is. A good grief. That is massive. That would be terrifying to witness running towards you. I think I actually prefer Drogs without the helmet. I think that kind of cleans up the silhouette a little bit. If you think that kind of wolf tail not being there, that makes the banner on the back probably a bit more easy to pass, at least from a distance. But overall, I mean, this looks good from every angle. It really does. This is just a very fun miniature. It's very fun, but it does have that kind of threatening aura about it at the same time. Now we also have Snarl Pack Cavalry, so a couple of Grots, a couple of little green sods per wolf, which is a really fun way of doing this. Like, just the sheer fact that there is such a severe size difference between the riders and the mounts, just having 2 of them on there instead of 1, I think is a really fun way of doing it. And in theory, it should mean that they are quite difficult to deal with, since, you can be attacked from either side at any given point. Whether that works out like that, especially given that on one of these, they've both got their lancers on the same arm, which, I don't know, it feels like that isn't as efficient, but then, do they care? Probably not. Probably not. I mean, they're Grots riding on the back of giant wolves. Do they care about any sort of coherency? I doubt it. I severely doubt it. The armour on the wolves, again, looks really good. I do like the pattern on the shields that they've got. The Grots themselves, those look really nice. The squad leader there is pretty cool. He's got a very brutal looking axe. I do like the kind of repeated sort of sun motif that's going on with these. Oh, overall, this is just very fun. This is just a very, very fun army. There's lots of nice little details. There's loads of different mixes of materials. You've got what feel like quite like they're being played straight. The actual wolves are being played quite straight, but then you've got the madness of the Grots on top, which, I don't know, it's hitting a spot that I didn't really know there was to hit, I wasn't aware that I wanted this until I saw it, and now I'm like, well, I mean, it just makes sense. It just makes sense. There's also the Sunstealer Wheelers, which are such a good name. Sunstealer Wheelers are fantastic. So, lightweight chariots made of wicker and wood, but then pulled by more Snarlfang wolves. Oh, God. I just love whoever came up with this. 10 out of 10. Fantastic. Brilliant. The chariots look absolutely great. I do like the way that you can really see the kind of wicker pattern going on. That's really fun. They still look pretty brutal, like all the metal blades sticking out the sides. Kind of rough, to be honest, in a good way, but they might be lightweight, but there's a fair amount of protection kind of bolted onto the sides. That kind of repeated sun motif on the wheels, again, it's really, really fun. The overall, they look feasible, which is nice. They do look feasible. There's also the thing that because everything's got at least 2 Grots on it, apart from the biggest creature they have so far, which just has got the biggest Grot on it, there's this kind of feeling of chaos across every single model. It doesn't feel like they're like a targeted and well-organised group. It just has this feeling of like a rabble of lunatics just descending on the field, riding wolves, being in chariots pulled by wolves, led by a big dude who was chosen by the biggest wolf. It just feels very, very chaotic and very unpredictable. And I mean, obviously that should be the case, right? That should be the case. If it's Grots, especially when you look at the Gloomspite GITS, for instance, it is just madness all round. But I think it should be, and I think it works well because of that. It also helps that a lot of them look like they're having an absolute whale of a time. They are just loving it. They cannot get enough of this. They're having the best time of their lives, just careening through the enemy, shooting them, chucking spears at them, running over them. They look like they're having a grand old time, which is one of the things that I think makes this so good. So the box comes with the battle tome for the Gloomspite GITS. Oh, it's the Moon Clan, isn't it? The Moon Clan. The Gloomspite GITS are just the overall Gobbo Grot lot, whereas the Moon Clan are the specific moon-based idiots and lunatics, and this lot are all about riding into battle. I do like that special cover. That is quite fun. Doing the opposite of the big moon-looking one. That's cool. Thing is, there are other kits outside of the box, and I'm so happy they've done this. The Doom Diver Catapult. The Doom Diver Catapult. It's so good. It's such a good idea. It's such a funny concept. It also looks like it's going to be pretty damn big. But just look at it. Just look at that. You strap a Grot in with a pair of wooden and cloth wings and you chuck him at the enemy. Oh yeah. What a game plan. What an idea. Love it. Absolutely love it. It is just outright nonsense, right? It is just lunacy, but in the best way. And the thing is, this looks really good. I love the mix of, like, kind of refined but not refined engineering that's gone into this. So you've got these really nicely made wheels that are quite, like, decorated. You've got these platforms off to either side, the big wicker platform on the back. You've got a mechanism there for pulling the rope back on the big old crossbow section. But then when you actually, I say crossbow, it's more just like a slingshot, like you would make as a kid. But then you look at what the actual, like, the shooty bit is made from, and it's just tree trunks. It's just tree trunks that are vaguely the right shape, that have been kind of put in the right position and lashed together with rope. It's like a really fun mix of, we've gone to the effort of, like, casting or creating this metal head on the front of this thing, and there's these sort of really intricate blades that we've made, and look how well decorated the wheels are, and look at the bracing, the red metal bracing around the catapult section. And then the actual I mean, it's pretty much just wood. It's just bits of tree. We haven't really refined that. We've just left it as is, because that's fine, whatever. Like, the mix of putting effort in and being too impatient to put any more in, I don't know. I feel like it's like a little bit of narrative built into the whole machine itself. I do love it. I absolutely love the Doom Diver catapult. It's so funny. It's so good. Again, it's like a little chaotic diorama as well. They've got, like, alternate views and stuff, and oh, you can have it. Wait, you can have it launched or about to launch. The about to launch one looks so good. Look at his face. He's so determined. He's got such a determined look to him. And then the guy who just knocks the mechanism to send him flying has got the most deranged grin on his face. Oh, yes. Oh, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, no notes. Actually perfect. I love it. I absolutely love it. Something that I also like about this, the Doom Divers themselves, their special helmets also absorb light as this living ammunition arcs through the air with its pent-up energy exploding on impact, setting off the incendiaries strapped to the unfortunate Grots. Just in case you were wondering what they did other than just land on, like, one guy. Probably not hurting them all that much because there's not a lot of weight to a Grot. No. They charge up as they fly, then they land and explode. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So the GITMOB packs are commanded by Snarl bosses. So you've got lads on chariots pulled by alphas. Oh yeah. And because all of this stuff is batshit, a Snarl boss on War-wheela brings lunar and solar power together in jars made of metal that absorbs Haitian light, heating up the moonstone dust within to create a wildly unstable concoction that can be released to give their chariot an unfathomable burst of speed. So it's basically a wooden chariot pulled by wolves that occasionally can have a jet propulsion effect going on out the back of it because of weird dust. I mean, does it make sense? No. Does it need to? Also no. It looks great. It's a very silly idea, and I'm okay with it. I'm alright with the silliness. I'm totally on board. I do like that these chariots look a lot more well built. There's less wicker, more wood. Even things like the wheels look a bit better built. Just overall a more solid platform, but then some more solid platform for the guy who's leading the GITMOB. There's some nice decoration going on. There's some, like, horns and stuff on the front. Oh, love it. Absolutely love it. And the little grot at the back next to the two jet propulsion jars. I don't know. Again, having an absolute whale of a time. You just can't believe his luck. He's having a great day. There's also a shaman version of this, so sometimes the War-wheeler chariots are co-opted by frazzle Git shamans, the lunatic wizards who wield the luminous power of the glare phrase frazzle Git. Oh my god, why is that so difficult suddenly? Glare phrase frazzle Git. Good grief. To power their fiery conjurations, blinding nearby enemies, or sending snaking plumes of scorching smoke across the battlefield to burn lungs and eyes alike, presumably regardless of whether you are the enemy or whether you're just another grot. I'm guessing they don't care all that much. Just the amount of grip strength that shaman must have to remain perched on top of that as that thing, like, runs across the battlefield. I don't know whether these also have the temporary jet propulsion option. I don't know. It feels like it would make sense that they don't, but then that could very well be a reason for them to have it anyway. A lot of very big skulls on this as well. A lot of very big skulls. I do like that. Oh, God. It's just... it's such a stupid army. It's so dumb. I mean, look at the state of it. How high up is that shaman? And that's on a chariot that, like, bumps over stuff. How is he staying up there? Does it matter? No one cares. And that's the standard battle tome cover for the Gloomspite GITS, which I'm not enjoying the style they're going for with some of these battle tomes. I'll be honest, I'm really struggling with it. I just don't think they lack something. They lack something, and I don't know what it is. The last few battle tomes, the covers have just looked a bit like... they've just looked a bit, yeah, that's fine, I guess. Like, they're not very inspiring, but I couldn't really tell you why. They feel very flat. They feel very flat, and also like someone's trying to make them three-dimensional without really doing it properly. I don't know. I'm just not a fan. Just not a fan. Anyway, there you go. New GITMOB. Bunch of absolute lunatics riding wolves. I can't get enough. I didn't realise it's something that I would be this invested in, but for some reason it is. It's just stupid. It's so silly. But it really works, and I feel like it shouldn't, but it does. And I mean, it's just another case for me of AOS just bringing the A game in terms of let's just take an idea, fully commit, and let's release it. And it feels like that's exactly what they've done. And frankly, I love it. Let me know what you think of that in the comments down below. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things. You know the drill. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you later, probably.